I need to get this off my chest because I'm sitting here at 3 a.m. watching my 4-year-old daughter sleep. And I can't believe how different my life is now compared to 5 years ago. This is going to be long, but I need to tell someone. 5 years ago, I was deep in gang life. I'm talking corner dealing, territory wars, carrying heat everywhere I went. I grew up in East Cleveland. And when you're 16 with no dad around and your mom working 3 jobs just to keep the lights on, the streets start looking like your only family. The Bloods took me in when nobody else would, gave me purpose, money, respect. Or at least what I thought was respect back then. I was good at it too, which is the scary part. By 21, I was running my own corner, had younger kids looking up to me the same way I used to look up to the older heads. I had money, nice clothes, a reputation. But I also had 3 bullet scars, 2 arrests, and a best friend who died in my arms outside a gas station when I was 19. That should have been my wake-up call, but it wasn't. The streets had their hooks in me deep. Then I met Maria. She wasn't from my neighborhood. She was working at this little Puerto Rican restaurant downtown where I used to go sometimes to lay low. Beautiful girl, but more than that, she had this light in her eyes, you know. Like she believed the world could be good. She was studying to be a nurse, working nights to pay for school. I started going to that restaurant every day just to see her. At first, she wanted nothing to do with me. She could tell what I was about from a mile away. But I kept coming back, kept trying to show her I was more than just some street thug. Took 3 months before she'd even let me walk her to her car. The crazy thing is, she changed me without even trying. Just being around her made me want to be better. She never asked me to leave the life, she was too smart for ultimatums. But she'd ask me questions that got under my skin. Don't you want something more for yourself? What happens when you're 40 and still doing this? What kind of example do you want to set for your kids someday? That last one hit different. I started thinking about the father I never had, about how I swore I'd never abandon my kids the way he abandoned me. But how could I be a father when I might not live to see 25? It took 2 years, but I slowly started pulling back from gang life. First, I stopped carrying my piece. Then I stopped dealing directly, just collected money and passed it up the chain. Maria never pushed, but she was there for every step, celebrating the small victories with me. When she got pregnant, that was it. I was done. I told my boys I was out, and thankfully I'd earned enough respect over the years that they let me walk away without too much drama. Had to cut ties with everyone I'd known for years, move to a different part of town, start completely over. But when I held Sophia in my arms for the first time, I knew I'd made the right choice. Maria and I got married when Sophia was 6 months old. Small ceremony, just her family and my mom. Her parents weren't thrilled about her marrying an ex-gang member, but they came around when they saw how much I loved their daughter and granddaughter. For 3 years, we built something beautiful together. I got my GED, then started working construction. The pay wasn't gang money, but it was honest money. Maria finished nursing school and got a job at Cleveland Clinic. We had a little house in a decent neighborhood. Sophia was happy and healthy, and for the first time in my life, I felt like I was exactly where I was supposed to be. Then everything fell apart. It started with little things. Maria working late more often, being secretive with her phone, getting defensive when I asked about her day. I chalked it up to stress from work, new job pressures. I was naive as hell. The truth came out on Sophia's 3rd birthday. My cousin Danny had been helping me plan a surprise party for her. Danny was one of the few family members I'd stayed close to after leaving the streets. He'd never been in the life, worked as a mechanic, seemed like a good dude. We were supposed to meet at my house to set up decorations while Maria was at work. I came home early to grab something I'd forgotten, and there they were. In my bed. In the bed where I'd held my daughter when she had nightmares. In the bed where my wife and I had planned our future together. I'm not proud of what happened next. All those years of anger management, of learning to control my temper, went out the window. I didn't hurt them, thank God, but I destroyed that bedroom. Punched holes in walls, through furniture. Danny ran out half-dressed. Maria just sat there crying, saying she was sorry over and over. The worst part? Sophia saw it. She'd been napping in her room and woke up from all the noise. Came running to see what was wrong and found her daddy having a complete breakdown. That image of her little face, confused and scared, still haunts me. I left that night. Couldn't stand to be in that house another second. Drove around for hours, ended up at my mom's place. She took one look at me and knew something was wrong. I told her everything, and she just held me while I cried like I hadn't cried since I was a kid. The next few weeks were hell. Maria kept calling, saying it was a mistake, that she loved me, that we could work it out. Danny had the nerve to show up at my job trying to explain himself. I wanted to beat him senseless, but I knew that would just prove everyone right about guys like me, that we can't change. That violence is all we know. Instead, I filed for divorce and fought for custody of Sophia. The custody battle was the hardest thing I've ever been through, and I've been shot 3 times. Maria's lawyers tried to paint me as an unfit father because of my past. Brought up every arrest, every association with known gang members. They argued that Sophia would be safer with her mother, that I was just one bad day away from going back to my old life. But you know what saved me? The life I'd built over those 3 years. Character witnesses from my job, from Sophia's daycare, from our neighbors. Maria's own family testified that I was a good father, that I'd changed. Even some of my old friends from the streets, guys who'd gotten out like me, came forward to talk about my transformation. The judge gave me primary custody, said it was clear that I'd made genuine changes and that Sophia's well-being was best served with me. Maria got visitation rights, but the affair had damaged her credibility as much as it had damaged our marriage. That was 2 years ago. It's been the hardest and most rewarding 2 years of my life. Being a single dad is no joke. Sophia was barely 3 when everything went down, so she didn't fully understand why mommy and daddy weren't living together anymore, why she had to go back and forth between houses. There were nights she'd cry for her mom, nights she'd have nightmares about the day she saw me lose control. I had to learn everything from scratch. How to do her hair, YouTube became my best friend. How to handle tantrums without losing my cool. How to explain complex emotions to a toddler who just wanted her family back together. How to co-parent with someone who'd betrayed me in the deepest way possible. The anger was the hardest part. For months, I'd put Sophia to bed and then sit in my living room just seething. Angry at Maria for throwing away our family. Angry at Danny for betraying me. Angry at myself for not seeing it coming. Some nights, I'd drive past my old corners, thinking about how easy it would be to fall back into that life, to numb the pain with violence and chaos. But then Sophia would wake up from a bad dream and climb into my bed, and I'd remember why I couldn't go backward. This little girl needed her father to be present, stable, reliable. She'd already lost the security of her intact family. She couldn't lose me too. So I did the work. Got into therapy, never thought I'd be that guy, but here we are. Started going to a support group for single parents. Learned healthy ways to process anger and grief. Slowly rebuilt my life around being the father Sophia needed. The relationship with Maria is still complicated. She's dating someone new now, not Danny, thank God. That ended as quickly as it started once the excitement of sneaking around wore off. She sees Sophia every other weekend and some holidays. She's a good mom when she's present, but I can see the guilt eating at her. She knows what she destroyed, and she knows she can never fully fix it. But you know what? I'm actually grateful now. Not for the pain, not for the betrayal, but for what it forced me to become. Being Sophia's primary parent has made me a better man than I ever thought I could be. Every morning when she climbs into my bed and asks what we're doing that day. Every afternoon when she runs to me at pickup from daycare. Every night when she tells me she loves me. Those moments have given my life more meaning than any respect I ever earned on the streets. I'm in school now, taking night classes to become an electrician. The construction work is good, but I want something more stable, something with better benefits for Sophia's future. She's 5 now, starts kindergarten in the fall. She's smart as hell, funny, kind to everyone she meets. Sometimes I look at her and can't believe something so pure came from someone like me. The other day, she asked me why I have scars on my chest. I'd been dreading that conversation, but I told her the truth in an age-appropriate way. That daddy made some bad choices when he was younger, that he got hurt because of those choices, but that meeting her mommy helped him learn to make better choices. She just nodded seriously and said, "I'm glad you learned, Daddy, I need you." Man, I lost it. Right there in the middle of making her breakfast, I just started crying. Because she's right, she does need me. And for the first time in my life, someone needs me for good reasons. Not because I can move product or handle problems with violence, but because I can braid her hair and help with homework and make her feel safe in a world that can be scary and unpredictable. I still struggle sometimes. Co-parenting with an ex who cheated on you is like trying to be professional with someone who stabbed you in the back. There are moments when I see Maria and remember what we had, what we lost. There are nights when the loneliness hits hard, when I wonder if I'll ever trust someone enough to love again. But then I look at Sophia, And I know that everything I went through, the streets, the violence, the betrayal, the pain, it was all leading to this. To being her father. To breaking the cycle that could have continued through generations. To showing her that people can change, that love is worth fighting for, that family isn't just about blood but about showing up every single day. My daughter will never wonder if her father loves her. She'll never question whether she's worth fighting for. She'll grow up knowing that real strength isn't about what you can take or who you can hurt, but about what you can build and who you can protect. That's my legacy now. Not the corners I ran or the reputation I built, but the little girl who calls me daddy and trusts me to keep her world safe. To anyone reading this who thinks they can't change, who thinks their past defines their future, you're wrong. It's never too late to become who you're supposed to be. It's never too late to fight for what really matters. And sometimes, the biggest betrayals in our lives force us to discover strengths we never knew we had. I went from the streets to single fatherhood, and it's been the hardest and most beautiful journey of my life. Every day I choose to be better than I was yesterday, not for me, but for the little girl sleeping in the next room who believes her daddy can do anything. And you know what? Maybe she's right. Edit, holy shit, this blew up. Thank you all for the kind words and support. To everyone sharing their own stories of transformation, keep fighting. To the single parents out there grinding every day, you're heroes. And to anyone still stuck in a life they want to change, it's possible. Take it one day at a time. Edit 2. Some of you are asking about resources. If you're trying to leave gang life, look into programs like Homeboy Industries. They have chapters in multiple cities now. For single dads, check out the National Center for Fathering. For anyone dealing with betrayal, divorce, therapy saved my life. Don't be too proud to ask for help. Love you all, hug your kids tonight.